Hi, it's Nikki here from Happy Hormones for Life and the NTBA. And today first of all, have a little friend with me today, my cat, who is quite needy today. She's missing my daughter Sasha, who's off at university, and she's needing her cuddles. She's also stepping on my keyboards a lot. Anyway, today I'm talking about marketing, and how to make it easier, because I think one of the things I hear most from NTs and my NTBA students is how hard they think marketing is, that it's some kind of necessary evil. But if you end up dreading it, so that you end up avoiding a lot of it, then you're not going to be able to attract the clients you're wanting to work with and that absolutely desperately need to work with you, because without marketing you actually don't have a business. So we have to get good at it, we have to accept it as part of our business, but more than that, we can actually learn to make it easy and to love it, and it can be fun. It doesn't need to be hard. There are reasons that it's hard in your business, and I'm going to go through those now, because we're just making, they're within our control. We just make it hard for ourselves. So the first reason is that when marketing is hard, it can be because you don't have a clear niche. You're trying to appeal to everyone and everything. And that is really, really hard to market. If you're trying to appeal to everyone, your marketing is just not going to land. So that is something that we can definitely change and work on. The second thing is when your message isn't strong or sticky enough. By that I mean that it's not a clear, compelling message that talks to your ideal client. Again, when we're generalists, that's often the case, that we don't have a clear message, that we pretty much are like every other NT out there. So when that message is really strong and we're really passionate and compel and can communicate it compellingly, then marketing can be actually quite easy. The other reason marketing's hard is when you're trying to do everything and be everywhere. It's exhausting. So you're on all the platforms on social media, you're trying to do stories and posts and articles and all the rest of it, and you're trying to do everything. Well, that is also not going to be very sustainable, because you're going to burn out, you're going to be exhausted, and actually if your message and niche aren't landing, then that's another reason. I'm just going to let my cat out the door. Very annoying. Anyway, yeah, the other reason is when marketing feels hard is because you may have lost touch with your vision, if you've got one. So if you've got a vision, that's great, but you need to be constantly reminding yourself what that is. And if you haven't got one yet, then absolutely you need a vision. You need some kind of why, because if you haven't got that inner kind of motivation, that inner passion that you're drawing from every time you're out there and you're being visible and you're selling your services and your marketing, then you're going to feel a little bit lost or disconnected, and also it's going to be harder for your prospects, your ideal clients, to actually get on board with you and your mission, and they don't feel like that they're going to feel necessary part of what you're trying to achieve. So connect with your vision again, and particularly when things aren't landing or people aren't engaging or you're feeling like there's nothing coming back, then that vision is there for you to draw on and to keep you motivated, because we know that this is not an overnight process. So you've got to have that why and that purpose really, really clear. The next thing is when marketing feels hard is when you don't know what to post. So when that content is just eluding you, you haven't got the inspiration of what to post, and every single week you'll get to your desk or your office space and you'll be looking into the sky going, what am I going to post this week? And that is something that I used to do, and it used to massively stress me out and overwhelm me, because I used to sit there every single Monday and go, what am I going to talk about this week? And it would be a massive kind of weight on my shoulders, and it just didn't feel very nice, and it felt heavy. So you need to know what kind of content to put out there, and also when to post it. So I've done a video on content before, so go check that out. But for me, it's a mixture. You need a mixture with your content. If you're just posting out educational stuff all the time, it can get a bit samey and a bit boring. And I do a lot of this too, so I've got to really focus on mixing it up. You need to mix educational content with more inspiring content, empowering content, personal and professional. You want to mix them up. And you always need to be at the back of your mind talking to your ICA, your ideal client avatar. My ideal client is called Annie. She's 48 and I know everything about her. So that she is the person that I'm thinking about when I'm putting out my content. So everything I put out, I will ask myself, how's Annie going to feel about this? Is she going to be interested? Is she going to feel bored? Is it going to resonate with her? And if it doesn't, then, you know, I need to revisit that. But a real mixture of content, so you're varying it up, is really important. When to post is equally important. Again, you know, this is where a content plan comes in, because again, if you're coming to your office space on a Monday morning and going, what am I going to post? Then having a plan, you don't have to, that takes all that overwhelm away. And this was a massive shift for me about a year ago when I realized that I needed to plan my content, and that took all that Monday craziness, that Monday stress out of my week. I spent a couple of hours creating a plan, and again, I've done a video on this, go look at that, how to do your plan. And every week now I know roughly what I'm talking about. Some weeks it'll change and I'll want to mix it up a bit, but every week I'll have something to talk about, a topic to talk about. And that's taken all the overwhelm and stress out of when, you know, posting my stuff. So that's really important. And then where to post is another thing that you might feel a bit overwhelmed with. Where on earth do you start, you know, focusing your marketing? And the easiest answer for that is wherever your ideal client is. So if your ideal client is on Facebook, you should be on there. If your ideal client is on Instagram or Twitter or LinkedIn or TikTok or whatever, get on those platforms. So you should know, if you know your ideal client pretty well, and that's why we do so much work on it in the course, and I talk about it in these videos. It's really, really important to know your ideal client inside out. Once you know that, you know where they're hanging out. So just focus on that particular platform. The other reason marketing can be really hard is when it's all about you. So when you're putting out, when you're thinking about your marketing and you're thinking about, you know, what you would like to hear, or for instance, on video, if you're doing a video and you're worrying about how you look or how you sound, or, you know, what people are going to think about you, that is not actually serving anyone. It's not helping your ideal client see who you are and what you can offer. So you've got to get over that whole thing about it being about you. It's all about your ideal client. They're the ones you're in this job for, trying to help. So what I do, I've got my ideal client stuck on the wall, and he's on the wall looking at me. And, you know, if I don't feel like showing up that day, I'm going to look at Annie and go, you know, she needs my help today. And, you know, it's not about me. So I'm going to show up and do that video that I said to myself I was going to do. So it's about, you know, putting yourself in their shoes and resonating with them. And you're not going to know the impact of you showing up consistently, educating, inspiring, empowering with your knowledge and your content, because you're not going to get that immediate feedback. But the thing is, you never know who's watching and who it's helping. So if you're of a mindset of how can I help, how can I serve, then that is part of you showing up every day. So it's really, really important to get it away from being about you, and, you know, just really showing up for people in your audience and new people who want to know, you know, how you can help them. And then lastly, it's about you being impatient, because actually you want to see immediate results. We all do. We all love seeing results immediately, but especially when we're making an effort, right? But building a business definitely is a marathon. It's not a sprint. You have to be consistent week in, week out. And most of all, you have to be really patient. Sometimes what's the saying? You're 3 feet away from gold, but, you know, you don't want to be giving up at that point. It's just about showing up regularly. And if your message is right and you've got all the other things in place and you're consistently showing up, it's going to be just a matter of time before you hit gold. All right. So here's some of the things we cover in the program that make marketing just 10 tons easier. So first of all, getting clear on your niche, your market, and your message, because that's going to make everything easier, because your whole message, your whole marketing is going to be easy to put out there. And when marketing is easy to put out there, then, you know, it's going to be much, much easier for you to actually show up and do it. If you're struggling with this one, I've got my 5-day challenge, which we ran in September, which was super, really fun and very successful. Get Clear, Get Clients, 5-day challenge. The next one is on the 11th of January, so watch out for that. If you're on my mailing list, you'll get details of that, and I'll be putting it out everywhere too. So watch out for that if you want to get some clarity. The second thing we focus on is actually getting really focused. So starting with one strategy. So don't try and do everything in the world. We're going to do 1 to 2 platforms, one consistent strategy, and we're going to repurpose it to death so that you're squeezing the life out of every single piece of content you do, which enables you to do less and have a bigger impact. So that's what we really focus on. The third thing we look at is having a plan. So creating that content plan that takes all the overwhelm out of what you're going to be posting. Next, we look at creating the right content. So content for me is a mixture of credibility and connection. We need to build that know, like, and trust factor so that people can get to know us more and decide whether they want to work with us. So credibility is things like your work, your client stories, your testimonials, your methodology, your qualifications, your knowledge. And then the connection piece is all about your story, your vision, your mission, your personal stuff. So, people want to see that you're actually a human being. And that you're real, and talking to your clients' pain and their struggle and really getting into their heads. What we also do is focus really very clearly on that ideal client avatar, get really clear about who they are, and running every post by them in your head or on your wall or whatever you do. And then having a clear call to action is really important as well to promote that engagement. So whether it's subscribing, liking, sharing, clicking on something, downloading something, answering a question, or booking a call, get that call to action into every single piece of content that you do, and then you're going to start to have some more engagement. And engagement is the key to marketing, so you want to be starting and encouraging engagement wherever you can, and that's starting conversations, starting chats, asking questions. All of that is really important, and being consistent and being patient, those are the things. And I bet you, after all this, I bet you, if you don't like marketing, you actually like talking to people one-to-one, right? So if you can reframe marketing as just a way of talking to a group, one-to-many instead of one-to-one, that's what marketing is actually. It's just starting engagement, starting conversations, and offering to help people. And basically, that's what it is. And if you think about it like that, in the picture of you being of service and helping people, then hopefully marketing is going to be a whole lot easier for you. Hope you found that useful, and I'll see you again next week. Take care.